What is going on, everybody? How you doing today? My name is Jim Games, and I react to videos on the internet. And in today's video, I will be reacting to how the Dutch view Americans. Now, being an American myself, I'm curious. I want to know, what do the Dutch think of us? This should be kind of a fun learning experience for everybody because I'm going to rebuttal as this video progresses with comments of my own and see if their stereotypes are correct about us or if they're way off or whatever the case may be. So should be a good time. Before I do begin, a couple quick links I got to tell you about down in the description section. One is the community Discord. It's the best way to get in touch with me and the community, figure out what's going on with this channel, and I highly recommend checking it out if you are on Discord. Also, I have my Twitch link down there as well. Not just for video game guys. I do live reactions over on Twitch all the time, so check out that link as well. But let's switch screens and let's get right on into this. This should be fun. So yeah, how the Dutch view Americans. And this is shot from Amsterdam, so that should be kind of cool. Let's check it out. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Jaffa, and have you noticed where I'm standing? This city is one of a kind. It's the only city where you can smoke weed, drink alcohol, and take magic mushrooms legally. It's the city that averages the tallest people in the world. It's also the most dense city in all of Europe. Now, these are facts, but what about stereotypes? And more specifically, what are the stereotypes that the Dutch have on Americans?
Oh boy.
And we'll decide for ourselves that which is fact and which is stereotype.
They're gonna rip us apart. They're gonna rip us apart. I can tell already. I can tell already. Oh boy, we are not liked. Oh man. How gorgeous that is. Come on, man. Everyone's just tooling around on a bike. It just looks so gorgeous and peaceful.
When it comes to like stereotypes, what are some of the stereotypes that the Dutch people have about Americans?
But the Americans, they're loud mouths, you know, they got a big mouth and they're loud. And
I think that if it's about...
It's true. It's true. We're loudmouths. We love to hear ourselves talks. Hence, a microphone in front of American's face right now.
About Americans that they're like loud and noisy and
wow.
talk very like overreacting, but also nice too, not only bad things.
Thanks for throwing that in there. We're nice sometimes when you can hear yourself think.
I think big things. Everything is big because of the commercials in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, are when they talk about Americans that everything's big. I don't know.
Like everything's
everything, the cars, everything.
Yes, but just when you have a conversation with them, like, oh, okay.
Oh, yes. So,
The mighty question.
the mighty question, yes. That they think a lot of themselves. That's the big thing in my mind, that Americans do think a lot of themselves. They think they're better than everybody else.
Oh, no.
That's...
No, sweet old lady. No, sweet old lady. No, she's absolutely right. She's absolutely 100% right here. Americans do. We think a lot of ourselves. We think we are number one, the best, the greatest, the richest. But why do we think that? Why, as Americans, why do we think that? Well, at a very young age in our schooling system, it is literally pounded into our heads that America is number one, that you are number one, that you are so lucky that you were born here because you are here in America and you are an American and you are the best. And basically, we hear that over and over for about 12 years, and then we graduate, and then we're plopped out in society, and then now you get this. But I can kind of agree with you, sweet old lady.
My biggest problem with Americans. Sorry about that. If I'm offending you as an American.
Oh, she's so sweet.
No, it's all right. I can take it. I can take it.
She's so sweet.
When it comes to stereotypes, what are some of the stereotypes that the Dutch people have about Americans?
And I think they're just very individual. They're also very religious.
So what do you mean individual?
Yeah, well, like it costs Obama really a lot of efforts to get something like social health security pushed through. So people just want to be left alone on themselves and, well, a little bit look after yourself, and God looks after everybody.
Okay, so it's like everyone's out for themselves. There's no, like, you have no backup. It's just like you're out there, out in the wilderness, and trying to survive.
Yeah, like that, yeah.
So okay, that's kind of true. Yeah, we do. We're very self-serving and self-centered individuals. It's just the way it is. I blame the school system and technology and all sorts of other things that have warped our minds. But what he's talking about right here is he's talking about healthcare in America and about how we can't put together a basic healthcare system here that will keep everybody healthy at an affordable rate, even though we have all the money to do it. We're just not doing it because we think capitalism first. You know, almighty dollar is more important and making more money. So our healthcare system over here is kind of in shambles, and it is a very short-sighted thing to be doing to our own people, is by basically not being able to provide them the proper healthcare or education unless you got the money to pay for it. So it's a very short-sighted thing that Americans do, and I think it's very apparent and noticeable to a lot of these countries. They might have a higher tax rate than us, but they also do take care of their citizens very well with healthcare, education, and pensions even, which is wild to me. We have very few of those here in America. You kind of stop working, you kind of stop eating. That's kind of the mindset here in America. Let's continue.
I think that's a little bit too black or white, but compared to other countries, most Western countries, I think America is a little bit more individual. Yeah.
And another thing they really say a lot is they're fake.
They're fake?
Yeah, that's what they say.
What do you mean they're fake? In regards to what?
That's what the Dutch people say about
What?
Oh yeah, the Americans, they're always so fake. They're always smiling and so cheerful and you're their best friends and you're coming to my house. You know, and I think it's just very nice way.
Yeah, right, dude. Yeah, right. I feel attacked, man. I feel attacked here. He's calling us fake. He's calling us a bunch of fakers over here. I think he's talking about the over niceties that sometimes we do, or the pleasantries that we can possibly do. When I think the girl was talking about this briefly too, the younger one that he was interviewing earlier, about how they're like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" The voice goes up a little bit higher. Yeah, there is a lot of that kind of stuff over here, and I can agree. I guess it can seem a little bit fake and a little bit self-serving, especially with all the duck face selfies and crazy stuff we got going on here too. But I bet you your people do duck face too. All right. Bet you guys do ducking faces and whatnot. I guarantee it. I feel attacked, though. Yeah, I feel personally attacked.
Of being, but Dutch people perceive it as fake.
When it comes to like stereotypes, what are some of the stereotypes that the Dutch people have about Americans?
That Americans are like fake.
Oh, shit.
Fake?
Yes, they're fake because they are extremely.
This is the thing. This is a real thing. Okay, I thought maybe it was just that one guy. But no. You guys think that we're a bunch of fakers. I think we're out here faking. Can't fake the red, white, and blue, baby.
Polite, which in Holland they are not. so that actually, it can be like, hey, is it meant like that? You know, they're afraid that it's not
Genuine.
Exactly, because in Holland they are in that way genuine, sometimes rude.
Politeness. I think Americans are very polite, very friendly.
Nice.
All right.
There's not nice people, and a friendliness that we don't know in Europe. A more maybe even naive friendliness, but it's from the heart, and we're not used to that in Europe.
Oh, see, that is so touching. See, a comment like that is just very, very touching. Yes, we might be friendly to the point that we're being a little naive, but it's coming from the heart. We mean the right thing. We're not trying to. At our core, we're still good people. We still, want to be loved and love and all that stuff. And I don't know. This lady here, though, is a trip. This old lady, she's trying to bite her tongue and be so nice to this guy because she knows that he's an American. And she's basically saying, you guys are a bunch of loudmouth, self-serving idiots. But she's doing it in the nicest, sweetest way. Oh, my God. I don't know if my soul can handle any more of this old lady. Here we go.
There's stereotypes that people have about Americans.
Also, I think they're intolerant on the whole. I think they are more intolerant than say we are. I don't know.
Really?
It's just, as I say, it's just that I think that they do think they are better than everybody else. That's all.
So what sort of things are we intolerant about that the Dutch people are more tolerant of? I'd be very curious to know. If you are from the Netherlands or Dutch or anything like that, or in this general area or from this general area, this is Amsterdam, I'd be curious to know. I'd be very curious to know, what are Americans not tolerant of that you are tolerant of? It's curious. All right, let's listen to this old lady rip me apart again. Here we go.
And I don't like that idea that you are. I think we're all the same, and we all should feel that we're no better than anyone else. And, but nobody's better than us. That's my motto in life. We're no better than anyone else, but nobody's better than us.
Oh my God, I love her. I love her. She's so sweet. She reminds me of my Nana, my late Nana. Yeah, that's beautiful. You know, you're no better than anybody else, but nobody's better than you. That's a good way to live. That's a good motto to have. I try and follow that frame of thinking myself. But I think it's beautiful. Let's see what this guy's got to say. I don't know. I'm worried for this guy. This guy's already had a bad day. You could tell on his face. He's getting out of work. Things weren't going his way, and now some strangers asking him what he thinks about Americans. This could be rough. Here we go.
Some of the stereotypes that the Dutch people have about Americans.
Well, I think they assume that Americans feel that everything's big over there. So I should say that's a stereotype.
What do you mean big?
Well, you know, we have this impression that if Americans come to the Netherlands where everything is small, of course, that they compare and they think, you know, in America everything's bigger. And many things are big. It's a bigger country. And
so like bigger cars and bigger people.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are some other stereotypes that the Dutch have about Americans?
Patriotic, religious, but yeah, speaking loud, religious, patriotic, you got a few there.
Any more traditions or things that you don't understand?
Loud, patriotic, and religious. Yeah, I mean, there's those stereotypes, but I mean, I feel like religion is kind of on its way out in this country, honestly. It's dying off. I think it's dying off here, like it's kind of dying off everywhere. Obviously, we still have tons of churches. We have the Bible Belt, which is kind of through Midwest America, and they're very religious and whatnot. But I think as time passes and as the internet's still a thing for multiple generations, people are kind of making choices themselves, and they're kind of, it seems to be, at least from my circle and the people that I was around and how religion was introduced to me and my friends growing up, as to how the younger generation is faced with religion now, it seems like people are given a little bit more of a choice about religion because the information is just readily available there for the internet. So I really feel like a religion is going to be kind of washed out of America in the next 50 years or so. And there'll still be pockets of people that, have faith and are religious. There probably always will be, but I don't think it will be a stereotype here in America for very much longer. I think people are starting to kind of wise up to some of the practices of some of these mega churches we have here in America. And if you're not familiar with them, mega churches are like essentially like the size of a football stadium or a soccer stadium. You call it football anyway. So, all right. We're going to stick with football. It's a giant, massive stadium, holds 70,000 people. It creates an immense amount of wealth, these churches do, for donations and whatnot. And you can't tax a church. So some of these like priests and people that work in the church are like multi-millionaires, while the people that are going there to pray are, they're starving sometimes. So it's kind of a sick, gross thing. People are wising up to it. So I can't see religion being a very major thing for us for very much longer. Let's move on to patriotism. This guy talked about. Yes, patriotism is beaten into us at a very young age about how we should be proud to be an American. But this last year, man, was eye-opening for everybody. Once the Rona hit, once things went down with Rona, people started basically finding a camp and sticking to it. And the patriotism thing kind of went away a little bit with the Black Lives Matter movement, and about toppling the statues and stuff over here. For a lot of people, it was like, these are our generals and it's our history and whatnot. And then another group of people were like, well, those people were slave owners and they were all for slavery, and we shouldn't be having them, a giant statue in front of a library where kids walk by. And the whole different conversation for a different time, but I think patriotism, also due to the internet, is also going down just a little bit. People are becoming more wise to the way the rest of the world works, the way the rest of the world healthcare system and schooling and all that fun stuff and pensions, how all that stuff works. And a lot of Americans like myself are starting to wise up and be like, what are we doing over here? They're doing it better over there. Let's just do that. But whatever. And then loud, I don't know. We'll probably always be loud. Sorry about that. That's the way we are. We're loud.
Understand about American culture?
You keep on trying. Many people, or the idea that many people are obese, that's another thing.
That's true.
Everything they eat is way more than the rest of the world eats. They're all fat.
They eat a lot.
Yeah, okay, all right, we get it. All right, I feel attacked again. need a safe space. I need a safe space for this video. I guess I'm okay here as long as somebody comes to my bubble. So, all right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're fat. We're fat. Yeah, you know. We got fast food. Apparently, our portion sizes are a lot bigger than European nations' portion sizes. I have yet to do a food review yet, but I want to do that in this channel going forward. Be on the lookout for that. But apparently, there's these videos out there that I still haven't checked out, which shows portion sizes for food in Europe versus portion sizes for America. And apparently, they're pretty drastic. And it's making us all fat. You're right. Yeah, it is. We lead sedentary lifestyles, and we eat way too much, but it's the red, white, and blue, baby. Everybody that he's interviewed so far has been incredibly fit. They all look very healthy.
A fast food or something?
Yeah, it's a fast food. It's fast food, man. It's fast. It's food. It's cheap.
Yeah, man.
Good.
That's they're fat and...
Yeah, well, they eat a lot. they eat big portions, is what I hear. I don't know from experience, but that's what I hear.
We do.
What kind of food do they eat? Big portion.
Yeah, well, of course, hamburgers and pizza.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Hamburgers and pizza we eat. We eat that shit every day. That's probably why we're all fat. Our portion sizes are probably massive. We eat the questionable food choices that aren't exactly healthy for us. But it's good. It's cheap and it's readily available. And that checks off a lot of boxes for most of us, unfortunately. And to eat healthy around here, it can be kind of expensive. If you're smart about it, it can be kind of the same, but it's definitely more labor intensive. If you want to eat healthy, you got to cook your meal yourself. Ourselves? Do something for ourselves as Americans? No, we don't do that. No.
So where'd you get these stereotypes from?
Well, people who've been there, television, magazines. Yeah.
So the people that have been there, they're like, oh my God, you got to see these burgers. They're huge.
Yeah, something like that, yes.
Are there any other stereotypes that you could think of?
Workaholic?
Workaholic?
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Take holidays.
They're really easy.
That's the thing right there. That's a thing that like really shocked me when I found out about you guys over there. You guys have a lot more vacation time than we do. Like a lot more vacation time. So maybe the stereotype that we're workaholics. I mean, that it's just kind of the way it is over here in America. In America, it's go, make as much money as possible. You know, live that fast and wild lifestyle, and then die. You know, I mean, that's kind of the way it is over here. The whole goal is just to make as much money as possible, to have the car that makes your neighbor jealous, to have the house that makes the drivers by jealous. Like, it's constantly a show, it feels like. I stepped outside of this thinking and outside of this way years ago, but I did myself. I tried to wear clothes that were fancy and nice and that would impress other people. And for the most part, it kind of worked. You know, it got me into better positions and whatnot, just how I looked. And this is kind of just how people think in general. It's about putting this facade out. And maybe that's why you guys might think we're fake as well. But yeah, the work ethic here in America, it's pretty intense. We work ourselves to the bone just to basically keep our head above water. But in the meantime, every step of the way, we're told, well, you're so lucky to be here in America. You're so lucky to be living like this. Meanwhile, you guys out there having like 7 weeks of vacation or something crazy like that. We're lucky if we get 2 weeks paid vacation. Lucky. All right. We're even more lucky if it's paid. All right. To get 2 weeks off from work, they might just say you're fired and you're done and you got to leave. Yeah. To get it paid, that you're even more lucky. But more often than not, people take a long weekend maybe once a year. And I'd say that's probably about what 80% of us here in America do. Yeah, we're working ourselves silly over here. It is kind of ridiculous.
To manipulate. For example, in this case, Donald Trump for president. I know a lot of Dutch people who really have their question marks with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, of course, man. We get it. It was fucking nuts, man. We elected Donald Trump. We elected a reality star, a TV host, a TV show guy. We gave him the nukes. Yeah, no, we're kind of crazy. And we cherish and value entertainment so much over here that we made an entertainer the leader of the free world. Nuts, man. Yeah, we're nuts.
And ignorant. You see there's these little things on YouTube or wherever TV, and then they interview an American and they go like, "Oh, do you know where Amsterdam is? Oh yeah, that's the capital of Germany." They say things like this.
So you know their geological locations.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
What do we need to know? We got America right here. We're on it. We're on the place that's number one. We don't need to know about the other places. Seriously, that's the way a lot of us think.
Be more specific, things on high schools and universities.
We have geography.
Things, the student life seems that they're really easy to have intercourse with other people. They're really not that hard.
It's not. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's very hard
to get into bed, and it doesn't really depend on if they're here or if you're in America. You know,
is it easier? The question is there. The question is there. Is it easier to get laid in Amsterdam or America? Hopefully, the comments will let me know.
They really want something, and that's a thing that's different. The fact that everything is really driven on cars and stuff. We do everything by bike. We walk a lot, and I think
I've noticed that you guys got a ton of bicycles around. Like even behind this shot, like there's just this whole rack of bicycles. And, you know, sometimes in the cities around here, we'll have bikes or like e-bikes or something around. But no, America is very car-centric. Everybody's got to have a car. And I've seen a couple of these people that he's interviewed saying large cars as well. Hell yeah, large cars. SUVs, I'm talking gas guzzlers. We got a ton of those because a lot of times there's status symbols around here. And it's kind of crazy. I know a guy that just bought a Mercedes, like a big family Mercedes, like the hatchback or SUV thing or whatever. And he said it cost him something stupid, like $400 for an oil change because of that. But that's a price you pay if you want to be rolling down the street in a Mercedes to impress strangers for no reason. Yeah, we're in a weird cycle here in America.
I think a lot of people think in America everything is automatic. Like the movie WALL-E, but in WALL-E everything is sort of automatic, and at a certain point we will just get carried around in seats and that kind of stuff.
Hopefully.
I think a lot of people think that will start in the United States.
That people like to have weapons as well. The idea that they can protect themselves, that's something
The Second Amendment is something that we don't understand at all.
Really? So the Second Amendment is... It's the bread and butter of America here. This is the right to bear arms. This is, you know, it's number 2, you know, on the list, you know. But they don't seem to understand it at all, and a lot of places don't seem to understand it. And it's this huge topic, and it's this huge divide here in America. Do we get rid of the guns? Can we get rid of the guns? Or do we just let it say, fuck it, everybody gets a gun? And we're at the point right now where we got to just basically say, screw it, everybody get a gun. Everybody just have a gun, because at this point there's something like I think like 10 guns for every man, woman, and child on this in America. So there's already just guns everywhere, and yeah, we got issues that a lot of you guys don't have. Mass shootings being one of them. It's to the point where they're happening so often, where somebody literally just goes into a public space and it starts killing people at random. It happens so often that oftentimes it gets buried in the news and we don't even hear about it because too many other things have happened that day. And that's a person deciding to go out and just kill random strangers. It's sick. It's gross. I don't know what is going on in this country with that. I don't know why people are doing this. I don't know what's bringing people to want to murder strangers. But there's some of them. And there's nothing we can do about it. There's absolutely nothing we can do about it because we're so torn on gun issues here in America that it's a standstill. It's always the same thing. Thoughts and prayers. That's all we can do. That's all we can say. My thoughts and prayers are with you. But it keeps happening day after day and week after week, and we literally have no idea what to do about it. But to this guy, to you guys over there in Amsterdam, in that area, like I don't think you can have a gun. I think there's no shootings because nobody really has guns, and it seems peaceful. It seems friendly. It seems safe. I don't know.
And this amendment they're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, we know what the content is. We just don't know why you would have it.
So where'd you get these stereotypes from?
I think most of it is from the internet, from Facebook, from specific groups which bring
Facebook.
out a media which is really focused on the way people look at things. Obviously, I think it's a lot of media pressure we have. A lot of programs we watch sort of have the same things as well. Especially when you're young, we get a lot of American programs to start with.
Interesting. So you guys have a bunch of American TV shows you guys watch over there, especially while you're young. I wonder if you're talking about like children's TV shows like Barney and maybe some sitcoms or something. I'd be interested to know what sort of American television is popular over there. Because I can tell you for a fact, like I don't know anything about any Dutch TV. I couldn't name one TV show. Maybe I should start reacting to like just Dutch TV. See what you guys are talking about over there. I might do that. If you guys know of any cool commercials or TV shows you think it'd be cool for American to check out, post it in the comments.
I think it starts really early, actually. Most of it through media. I think most of it through media. Yeah.
So where'd you guys get these stereotypes from?
With stereotypes, there's often some truth, of course. So, of course,
what did I tell you? This guy's having a bad day. He had a bad day at the office, and now he's really ripping into us. And again, I feel personally attacked.
Come across Americans who confirm those kind of stereotypes. There are others who go against it. So with Obama, many perceptions have been killed because there was this idea that America's ruling the world.
Dude, what's up with that kid in the background there? This guy's got moves for days. Check it out.
Go against it. So with Obama,
got some dickhead kids in the back. All right.
Many perceptions have been killed because there was this
can't edit that out.
Idea that America's ruling the world, that they intervene wherever they want to, and things are changing. So, but that's not an answer to your question.
That's true. And I think he was getting into some important points there, saying that America might stick their finger in other people's businesses when it doesn't belong. Sometimes we can come off being kind of the world police.
We're in the great land.
How Germans view America? Oh my God, I'll have to do that one after. Oh God, all right. Well, expect that video. Let me just do one of these. I'll go back here to this little frame. So yeah, this was kind of what I was expecting, but it was nicer. I thought you guys were really gonna rip the Americans apart here, and you didn't. You definitely didn't. You did it in a very nice, polite way. Whatever you had something negative to say about Americans, you always kind of followed it up with a comment. And these just seem to be random people walking around Amsterdam. They just stopped to answer the question. I just noticed this frame, that cute little girl. There are some things that are absolutely 100% true. Yes, we're loud. Are we all loud? Definitely not. A lot of us are introverts like me, believe it or not. But a lot of us are very loud. A lot of us are very opinionated and patriotic. And like I said in this video, the reason for that is probably our schooling and just how it's smashed into our heads. I do apologize. I know it must be annoying, and I know a lot of you probably don't like us for that. But please know there's nothing we can do about it. We've essentially just been brainwashed. And I don't even know if brainwash is the right way to describe it, because, I am an American guy and I love America for all of its faults, for all of the horrible things that we've done with our history, for all of the drone strikes, for all of the fat Americans, for all of the loud patriotic people and the mass shooters. I still love it here in America because this is my country. This is my home. And this is what I love. Just like I can tell these people walking around in the streets, this is their home. This is their country. And they love where they are from as well. But they're right. The patriotic thing is a little crazy. It can be a little bit nuts. It can seem like it's a little propaganda-ish. America has been known to stick their finger in other places where it doesn't belong. We've tried to become the world police. We've done things like that just don't work out in really anybody's favor, except for maybe America's favor. There are obviously some major issues that we do have over here. And I think a lot of you guys do understand some of them, probably just from social media or television in general. I was kind of surprised to see how much American media was consumed here as well. I would assume you guys would just have like your own content, your own, shows and stuff like that. But apparently you've got a lot of American television over there. So I'm very curious to know like what popular American TV show is over there. Who is like a beloved American celebrity? Because for a lot of us here in America, being as self-centered as we are, we honestly just don't know a whole lot about these other places. One guy mentioned Americans don't know anything about geography. Well, that's actually kind of true. Obviously, there's 350 million of us, and I can't speak for every single American. But I'd say for the most part, our limit, what we know about geography is probably where we've been to and what we probably learned in geography classes in middle school and possibly high school. And that's probably the extent of it. We tend to just kind of stay where we are and, just we're here in America. We're already where we need to be. We might travel a little bit, but we're not as traveled as other people from the world because we don't have that vacation time that you guys do. Crazy, right? Yeah. So that's another stereotype right there. We're workaholics. Well, we're not exactly workaholics. We're just trying to survive. We're just trying to keep our head above water, honestly. And that's for the people making well over $100,000 a year, too. They're just trying to keep their head above water. Now, you might be saying, like, well, how can somebody that makes so much money just be trying to keep their head above the water? Well, here in America, as loud and as opinionated as we are, we're always trying to kind of one-up each other as well. So there's all these status cars. They were talking about the big, massive vehicles we have here. They all got the big SUVs that are $50,000, $60,000, $100,000. The homes that are $500,000 to $1 million starting. Like, it's an insane amount of money to make it look like you have money. It's kind of a weird, vicious cycle. And a lot of us do fall into that trap as well. But this was eye-opening. And I got to say, the Dutch people, the Dutch, they didn't rip into us as much as I thought that they were going to. I thought this was going to be a free-for-all, and you were going to basically just be saying, we're all fat, lazy, dumb Americans, and they don't know anything that's going on in the world. Which is pretty much true. So, but I guess you could say that for anybody. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what I'm getting at with that. There's a lot of us, so we're all not the same, obviously, but a lot of us do have the same upbringing of we are number one, that America is the best, and that's kind of where that comes from. As far as us being fat, there's fast food everywhere. There's restaurants you can throw a rock. I can literally throw a rock outside my house and hit a Mexican restaurant. But I live kind of in a city area. But they're everywhere. Restaurants are everywhere. We don't generally cook for ourselves for the most part. A lot of us in the more industrial areas or like cities and stuff like that, like we don't really cook. We just kind of have food delivered to us, and again, that makes us even lazier, I guess, and even fatter, because who knows what they're putting in those meals. But this has been fun. This has been eye-opening, and I think the next one I'm going to do is how do the Dutch view the other Dutch. I'm going to see how you guys actually view each other and see if you guys have any stereotypes towards each other. So be on the lookout for that video. If you enjoyed your time with me today, if you enjoyed listening to me ramble on about all sorts of random little things America, in my experience traveling through the world via YouTube video, consider liking and subscribing. I do this sort of thing all the time. I'd love to have you here with me. But guys, that's going to do it. Have a great night, and I'll catch you out on the next video. Bye, everybody.